see if your assessment of, can I just ask you for your assessment of the first hour of that game to start?
I'd say with the ball poor. I thought defensively as well, a little bit out of shape. I think probably on reflection, the week away in Perth and then coming back, we took a session out of the whole week, which is normally part of the week routine. I had a double session plan. I didn't want to fatigue the players, but we probably loaded them a little bit too much yesterday on feet and with the tactics. So I think that might have contributed to the first half. I think as well the fact that it was the first time we used Houston in the middle. We had Moe on the other side, and I felt like the dynamic probably didn't click as well as what I thought. I like having a left footer on the left side. But again, I think it's unfair on Houston to put that pressure on him because he's only been here for a couple of weeks. And I felt as though Adelaide actually changed their press quite well with one of their 9 stepping through on the ball all the way through, and the other 9 was just blocking Roofer all the time. So we didn't adjust well, and we couldn't find that forward pass. But there were moments where we did well, and when we were able to break the line, I thought we opened them up quite well. And I think BK scores that goal at 2-0. I think the game's done.
Did you get the impact and the energy you wanted from your rarely seen quadruple substitution?
I've done worse than that. So I've done 5 before. I just felt, and speaking honestly and candidly, I felt once they were going to bring Irukunda on, I was going to go to a 5 to save the legs of the defenders stepping out and then put more pressure on our 6s covering the ground. And then they scored. And then I just said, well, I'm not happy with the draw. I need to win the game here because, we're at home and we need to take the initiative. And I also felt as though they're in a position where they've scored and they have to be on the front foot because they need to score to make their season alive, right? So I felt as though Oscar, Van Hatten and Costa are great subs to have off the bench to come on and give pace and, make forward runs and that puts a burden on them as well to cover those players. So, and then I felt Finn Conch coming on in the middle. He'll give us a little bit more with the ball, and he's the one that pinched the ball for the first goal. So I was very happy with Oscar Van Hatten scoring his first goal as well. I think he deserves it. He's been doing exceptionally well. So, I was happy with that.
Just on Oscar Zavada, what happened with that late withdrawal?
Yeah, so yesterday at training, apparently felt a bit of a niggle, nothing serious. And then he's come in today and he reported that he wasn't feeling the best, and then he had the warm-up and just to see where he was at, and then he had to pull out last second. He felt a bit of a pinch, so it was more risk management.
How have Ben Old's confidence levels at the moment? It just seems to be every week.
Yeah, he's been... I think he's growing every week, and I think now the reason why I use him for 90, I'm trying to build his fitness up. He's been injured for so long. We've had to manage that quite extensively. Like our physio, Corey Glover's done an excellent job with him, and I think that for me is going to be a vital player in our push to create a really good season. And I think he's the sort of player that he needs a little bit of love, but he also needs the space and the setup around him to bring his best attributes out, and that's running with the ball, taking players on, having good players in front of him to combine. So yeah, I'm really happy with him.
And on the quadruple substitution, you mentioned you've done it before, but do you get nervous doing something like that?
No. No, I don't get nervous because the way the game was going at that time as well, I just felt the group needed that injection, and my objective was to win the game. So I know those players are going to come on. They have something to prove. They have energy, and because we're a team first and a collective, I have no doubt when those boys come on, they're going to give 100%. So I felt as though that's what we needed at the time, and I thought again they did very well.
Oscar's got 44 seconds to go in the park.
Sure.
To get that sort of immediate impact, you must have been overwhelmed.
Yeah, it was too long for me. No, it was great. It was nice. It was again, I was really happy with Finn Conchi winning that first ball because I think that started the whole play, linked. Even Costa, I think Costa on a better day could score another 2 goals with the amount of chances he had in that 20 minutes. So, look, those things happen. Sometimes they don't work, and just I mean, I'm not taking credit. The players were the ones that played that those forward balls and got into position. So I'm happy that we got that.
You're not at home for about a month now until the
Yeah.
Brisbane Royal game, but 7,200 crowd. Obviously, they were a great voice, but would you like to see that 10,000 mark factored in come Easter Sunday?
Yeah, it'd be great. I think, the context of the season, I think once we get to that Brisbane game, I think we'll know a lot better where we stand and what we're actually playing for, even if it's a top 4 position. I think we're established in the 6 now. I think I'm not sure if it's mathematically impossible that we miss the 6, but I think we've done that job there. So I think the next goal now is to make sure that we lock up that final 4, which is very, very important, and then we go from there. So if we can get 10,000 against Brisbane and just getting us through, it's going to be a massive game. They're essentially all grand finals now.
You've moved that Royal game back 2 days, then out on the travel back from the UAE for the Whites players. How many players are you expecting to lose?
Last time I spoke to Bays, there were 5 on the short list with 2 on standby, and I think it's still at that. I haven't heard from him since, so your guess is as good as mine at the moment.
What are those conversations with Darren Basie like? Obviously, this is unprecedented success for the Phoenix. That must excite him as national team manager, but do you feel like there's a good relationship there?
Yeah, I mean, look, he was in contact, what was it, last week, just to tell me who was in contention. He made it short. He said he was going to come and, visit us and see how the players are going. So, yeah, I mean, it's good as what it was previously, so...
Oldie's one of the ones probably who's going to be getting the call up. Do you think that's exciting for him to have a new challenge? And I guess there's talk a few weeks back about him needing maybe 2 weeks off his feet or rest. Is that still something that's the case, or is that his injury?
Yeah, no, he's fine with his injury. Yeah, no, he's good. Yeah.
As
a new challenge?
New challenge for him?
Look, I think he needs to focus on his challenge here with the club and doing the best he can. What he gets in the national team is, I think separate. I think any player should have the ambition to represent the national team. So I don't think it's like something that needs to be a side goals that he just solely focuses on, because it takes away from the fact that his club is where he makes his bones. So again, that's my job of trying to manage those expectations. Sometimes if the focus is only on the national team and you kind of lose focus on your club, then it's going to affect you long term.
Do you think he'd be getting a bit more hype in the ALeague if he's an Australian player? Like we saw how much excitement there was around him the season he was having. He seems like he's one of the best young players in the league now.
Would he get more hype? Well, he should be getting that hype here because he's a Kiwi player, I think. If he was in Australia, yeah, there would be a lot of hype. But again, the media hype in Australia is only for Australian clubs. And so it should be. New Zealand media should be looking after, us. Again, I think he's such an exciting prospect that you only see how good he is until he leaves and he goes overseas.
You mentioned possibly 7 going with the All Whites. Would you look to negotiate a bit? That seems like a big
They're going to give me players in exchange? No. No. Look, if you want my honest opinion, I'd love all my players to go that are eligible, because I think it's more the experience in getting that, match hardened for bigger games for us. If they play international football, that's obviously at a higher pace, higher quality. So if they can get that game time. For me, my big issue is not so much the call up, it's how they're treated when they come back and whether they're looked after. Like for me, if a player's going to travel halfway across the world, I expect some at least a duty of care that when they come back that they put him on business class flights and that they're looking after him and making sure that they're an asset, not just like cattle. So for me, that's the most important thing. So am I happy? If I had 10 players, I'd be stoked, because I know they would all get something out of that.
Chief, Melbourne City away next week, Wellington was won against City at Andy Park since 2013. Is this the season that record is?
2013. That was a long time ago. I was just trying to think when we played. Well, we drew 2-2 there. That was McLaren's free kick. Yeah. They'll be tough. There again, they'll be in Adelaide's position. They're still vying for the 6. They've got a lot of quality. I think they have Tilio and Lecky back next week. When we played them in Auckland, they were minus a couple of players. They've got quality across the park. I mean, you see their result. They drew 1-1 with Sydney the week previously. Sydney's gone out and, smacked Wanderers. So there's a lot of quality. We're going to go in with the mindset that we want to win the game. But again, it's away from home. So for us, it's more about management, making sure that we can identify where their weaknesses are. We can exploit it. And, just try to focus on the performance.
And just generally, as players come back, how hard is it going to be to pick your
Look, I don't look at it as a best 11 because I think certain plays in certain games and certain tactical matchups give better solutions. So for me, it's more about having the best 15, 16 players that are available and then using them like you saw today. So in my mind, I thought that starting team would win the game, and it was the ones that came off the bench that changed it. So for me, that's very healthy. So, I think you'll see from now to the end of the season, the starting 11 will change every game, and it will depend on who we play, and then the players that come off the bench are also going to give that added value.
Let's ask you about Austria. And in your experience, does the lack of a goal for a player, he got his first one today,
Yep.
does the lack of a goal, does it weigh heavy on the mind of a young player?
I think so. I think there are some young players that are completely confidence players. I would say he's one of them. I feel as though if you look at his history with us, he's found a very hard one to get into game day squads. He was kind of isolated for 1 year because he couldn't play with the academy because we were over in Oz, so that was very hard for him. So his confidence was quite low for a long period. I see that there's something in there in the back of his mind about wanting to be the best version of himself. And it was just, and if you ask him yourself, he's all about, if I score a goal, he goes, I know I'll score a lot. And I remember the game against Macarthur when we played them the first time and he missed that 1-on-1. I was gutted for him, and he was gutted as well. But then again, he came on against, I think it was Sydney, set up the goal for Costa, Adelaide got the red card. So it's been building. I mean, even the week before, I didn't play him against Perth because I felt probably not the game for him, but he was disappointed. And I like to see that because that means that it hurts him not playing. And then today, he came on, and the first thing I saw when he scored, I was happy for him. So hopefully now, he's got the confidence that, he knows that he can do it in this league.